Hi everyone, it's Eric from ecomma12.blogspot.com and welcome to my full review of the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now I've done a series of coverage of this smartphone. I've done an unboxing, a 4K video test, a how to remove the magazines page on the Samsung Galaxy S5, and also a gaming performance test. Now this is my 5th coverage video of this smartphone and this is my full review. So in this video I'm going to give you my pros, my cons, and let you know what I overall think of this smartphone and if it beats the HTC One M8, which I think so far is the best phone of the year. So let's start off with the build quality. I really do think that this is a really nice build quality. Now yes, it is not up there with the aluminum designs you get with say the HTC One M8, but still, I really do like that this design is unique. Yes, it is plastic and stuff, but it is not just pure plastic. It does have a nice rubberized textured feel, which is really quite nice in the hand. It makes it very sturdy and very grippy in the hand. And it does feel very comfortable as well, considering this is a big screen, over 5 inches. I'm still very comfortable with it, and I feel like I can get around everywhere on the smartphone, pretty much, as you can see. So Samsung definitely have to be commended for that. Now as you can see, there is a little latch over there, and I'm going to quickly just pull that off right here, because it's pretty much a given now and a tradition to do with these Samsung smartphones. It is a removable back, which is great. You've got a removable battery, SIM card over there, and let's see, how much does this flex? A lot, actually. This is more flexible than the previous backs, which is really quite strange, as this is not pure plastic. But when you put it on, it is it feels very solid, and it doesn't feel like it's going to break. And one thing I really like about this is that, unlike the previous Samsung smartphones, it feels like these latches are going to break as you're putting them on. But they really don't feel that. They feel like they're going to last a good long time when I'm putting them on the Galaxy S5. Now let's start off with the bad points of this smartphone. Now the first one is the lag. And that is courtesy of TouchWiz, the overlay skin that Samsung put on top of their smartphones. Now last year when I reviewed the Galaxy S4, I said that Samsung had gone over the top with their TouchWiz overlay, and I said they should not do more with it. Well, it turns out they didn't take my advice, because as you can see right now, TouchWiz it's like pretty much taken over Android. It is now 60% TouchWiz and 40% Android. One of the things I'll show you to prove that is the settings. Now before I go into settings, I'm going to say, with the Galaxy S4 review, I said Samsung really need to ease off with their TouchWiz sort of like changes in the settings, because they really started categorizing everything and it just made things much more difficult to sort of like navigate around. Well, this is not what I had in mind when I said they had to start changing things. I mean, seriously, this is just so hard to look around for things. Look at how long the list is, because they could have just made this a simple settings. HTC didn't fiddle around with the settings much at all, really, and, you know, the stock Android settings is fine, very easy to navigate. Why do they have to do this? This just makes things so much more difficult. So TouchWiz is my problem, and TouchWiz causes lag, and there is so much lag present in this smartphone, it is unbelievable. I mean, when I'm in certain applications, I can't just show it to you when I want to, it does it whenever it decides to do it, and it does it at the worst times. Whenever I'm like, say, want to exit out of a certain application or something, and then go back to the home screen so I can quickly research something, I can't do it because it keeps lagging. It takes quite a few seconds before it actually does something, and popping into apps is nice and fast, but it does seem quite a bit significantly slower. So I'm quite disappointed with the performance of the Galaxy S5. Performance generally for gaming, as you saw in my previous videos and stuff, is good, but the hiccups it has constantly is just supposed to be a thing of the past. Android is past any Android lag. It's not known for lag anymore at all, but it's still present in Samsung smartphones. That is not good. Now, another thing I didn't like was the incoming and outgoing call quality. As you can see, there's a microphone right over there. Incoming call quality has been hit and miss, and it's been blurry and not too good, really. It's been acceptable. I can still make a phone call, a reasonable one, but still I would expect much better than that. And people, every single time I call them, they always say that the sound is not the best. It's got a bit muddled, which is very strange. So the incoming and outgoing call quality is not the best. It's definitely acceptable and you can definitely work with it, but I would expect much better than this. And my final complaint is this speaker on the back. Now, I really do not like this speaker whatsoever. It's like if I'm just watching a video like this, as you can see, my hands aren't covering it, what will happen is that the sound will not come towards you at all. It'll sound very muffled and it'll sound very, very faint. Now, on the plus side, it does not distort even on the maximum volume, but still, that's not good enough. It's like you have to lay it flat on the surface in order for the sound to sound anything good at all. But it still doesn't sound good, even if you put it on certain surfaces, because then the sound just sounds like it's blocked out, which, you know, is very inconsistent, the speaker. So I do not like the speaker at all, and that is a deal breaker for me, because I love consuming media on my smartphones, and that's one of the features I really loved of the HTC One and the One M8. So this just seems like such a downgrade to go to after those smartphones. And I'll give you one more little annoying thing, and that is that this phone is water resistant, which is good, but this flap I think Samsung could have done better to deal with. If you've got short nails, then you have to fiddle around with it like you just saw me do every single time you want to gain access to it. So that's a problem right there. And what you can see here is a different sort of like micro USB connector, and that is that this smartphone supports USB 3 charging, which is a really great and nifty feature. Samsung don't include a USB 3.0 charging charger cable inside the box, but that's a real big shame. But you know, it's getting there though, so that means you can do faster charging with this smartphone. So the water resistant works very well, and let me start off with the first thing I really love about this smartphone: the screen. Samsung are known for fantastic screens, and here they do not disappoint. Instead, they sort of like get better on every single level. As you can see, if I bring it close, you can't spot any pixels. Now that's the same with a lot of these 1080p panels, but I'm just saying, it is so crisp and so vibrant and so true to life. AMOLED displays have had problems of being too oversaturated and having a yellow tint to it, but this hasn't been noticeable. Normally to me that is sort of noticeable, but with this it really isn't. I haven't noticed that, hey, this has got a bit of a tint to it. The blacks, as always, are like proper black as if the screen's off. I really do love that feature. And yeah, I've really loved the screen on this. It's really been great. If the speaker was equally as good as the screen, this would have been one of the must-get devices for media consumption. Another thing that is great is the performance. It still lags, like I said, but performance when you're doing like heavy intensive gaming and stuff is great. No problems with that. Other thing I really liked, as I said, the build quality. That's still very good to me. I'm not going to talk about it too much, I talked about it at the start of the video, but that definitely qualifies as a good aspect. And I also like this toolbox feature, which Samsung include. As you can see, if I press into Google Chrome, press it again, go into the gallery, I can press it again, go into the settings very quickly, go back to the home screen. I mean, it's just so good, and this goes transparent as well. What you can also do is move it around, as you can see. And I like how it's transparent, because that means that it does not bother you, because normally if stuff stays on the screen it bothers me, but this does not bother me. And now, let's just cut to the chase, guys. The number one best aspect, I think, of this smartphone is the camera. This is, I'd say, one of the best cameras ever to grace a smartphone. I mean, I am just so impressed. The flash really does complement it so well. I mean, normally every single smartphone, whenever you use the flash, they always lose the natural colors of a picture, and that's why you always want to like avoid using the flash as much as you can. But with the Galaxy S5, I would advise you to use the flash as much as you can, because seriously, the flash makes the colors so much more natural on your photos. Just take a look at the photos right here, for example. Now, this is a strange one for me to show you right here, but this is a picture of a fish, and this is without the flash. And now if I swipe to the next one, this is with the flash. Just, you can tell the differences on the color, that right there. The one with the flash looks so much more natural. And as you can see, if I pinch to zoom in with the flash photo, then there you can see all the specks of the salt and the pepper and stuff. I mean, the detail is really astonishing on the smartphone. And if I go back to the one without the flash, you can see it just starts getting blurry when you zoom in. So the flash I would definitely recommend that you use. And also check this out. This is a picture my brother took of some Yu-Gi-Oh trading cards. And as you can see, there's so much cards it's taken a photo of, and he has used the flash, by the way. And as you can see, if I zoom in right here, you can just see, you can clearly read the small writing. It looks so small from afar, but when you zoom in, it looks so clear. That is absolutely amazing detail, amazing contrast, amazing clarity, and amazing colors. And as you can see, it's also got 4K video capabilities, and the 4K video has been absolutely amazing. So the 16 megapixel camera truly is amazing on the Galaxy S5. I would dare say this rivals the camera on the Nokia Lumia 1020. Yes, the Lumia 1020 had greater detail, but the Lumia 1020 always used to have problems with natural colors on the photos, especially if you use the flash. It always used to have a yellow tint to it, as you remember I mentioned in my review of that phone. But this is like pretty much you're going to get a great result every single time you take the photo, especially if you use the flash. So I'd say this is one of the best cameras on a smartphone, better than the iPhone 5S, better than the HTC One M8, and better than even the Galaxy Note 3. This is one of the best cameras I've ever seen on a smartphone. And the final positive about this phone, although there are more, but these are the main selling points, is the battery life. The battery for me has not been a problem. It's always been getting me through the day, no matter what I do, even on heavy use scenarios. So overall, what do I think of the Galaxy S5? For me personally, I would not get it at all. The reason why is because the performance lagging, which we should not be seeing on Android, is too big of a problem, and the crappy speaker on this is really another big problem as well. Those are two main deal breakers for me, and that's why I would not get this smartphone. If Samsung ironed those out though, gave us good quality speakers, and also made their TouchWiz operating skin much more lighter on the Android operating system, then yeah, I would definitely recommend this phone for people like me, especially for people that love media consumption. But if you like the Galaxy S4 and the Galaxy S3 before that and the S2 and stuff, I cannot really recommend this smartphone. If you don't mind the Android lag that you get with TouchWiz, and you don't mind the low quality speaker, then yeah, go for it by all means. But for those of you that expected Samsung to deliver more on these fronts, they've kind of backtracked. So that's a problem for people like me. As I said, I love consuming media, but for everyone else who's fine with those little problems, it's not a big deal for them, then yeah, get the smartphone and you'll thoroughly enjoy it. But for me, the HTC One M8 still wins out. Thanks very much for watching. This has been Eric from ecomma12.blogspot.com. Please follow me on my social networks. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see all of you next time. Take care.